Hey Joe, it's Folks here. My goal with this video is to talk to you as a human being. Well, maybe not in such a dramatic way, but what I mean is, if you're thinking about starting a print-on-demand store, be careful. If you're thinking about starting a print-on-demand store, think. Think about what you're doing. Think about how you're going to do it. Think about what goals you have with it. Think about the things that you are going to do to give yourself the greatest chance of success with it. Basically, I am going to be, in this video today, talking to you about how I think print-on-demand dies in the year 2023. And more importantly, how some of it survives and thrives. And if you're new to my channel, hello, make sure to check out some of my other videos. I talk about a lot of strategies that I'm currently using in my own print-on-demand businesses. And if you want to go through some of the training videos that I have put together, make sure to check out my course. There's a link down in the description. Inside, you get access to over 30 step-by-step videos showing you how to build out your store. The best part is, it is completely free. And like I said, there is a link down in the description. So this here is a comment that was made on a post inside of my print-on-demand Facebook group. If you're not a member, there's a link down in the description. Inside the group, there's over 61,000 print-on-demand store owners. In this post, someone said that they are terrified. They said they're about to start and they already feel like they are too late. Basically, they're saying that they want to start a print-on-demand store and that they are afraid that they are potentially too late. After I read that, I sort of started to think about what that actually means. To me, I thought that if I ever thought that I was too late to do something, that I would assume that whatever it was that I wanted to do stopped working. Which means that whatever was working was almost somewhat of a secret that someone had to figure out in order to get something to work. Something that was somewhat tricky. Something that you'd have to sort of put together like a puzzle in order to get results from it. But now, because I am too late, the way of putting it together no longer works, assuming that what it is you are doing is now finished. And when it comes to print on demand, in my opinion, that is partially true. People have asked me a lot lately about what I think is going to happen to print on demand. And I have made several videos showing studies like this here that show that over the next few years, print on demand as a business model is going to have a compound annual growth rate of over 25% until 2030. This same study here is, if you scroll down, you will see that they are predicting massive growth. In the year 2022, they estimated print on demand as being a $6 billion market, and by the year 2030, they're predicting that it is going to be a $40 billion market, which means it is growing like crazy. But yet, there are parts of print on demand that, in my opinion, are dying and dead. Hence the title for this video. My hope is that if you are starting your first store or just sort of trying to get an existing store off the ground, that you will watch this video with an open mind, that you will hear what I'm saying, and that you will realize that some of the things that I am saying are true. I started my first print-on-demand store back in 2016. I have been able to generate a full-time income from print-on-demand stores. I have students. Yes, I have coaching programs, but I also have profitable print-on-demand stores. You can check out some of my other videos to see me talk about it. At this point, students of mine have made about $5 million in sales on their own stores. I share all of that to basically say to you that I have a little bit of experience. I'm not trying to claim that I think I know everything, but I am coming to you not as your typical YouTuber, but someone who has been doing this for a long time and someone who has seen a lot of things with not only my own stores, but also other stores as well that other people are running. What I want to do is sort of walk you through what I view to be the old way of doing print on demand and to share with you what I think is ultimately going to thrive well into the future, basically forever. So what do I mean when I say the old way of doing print on demand? Well, originally, print on demand was basically Teespring. People would create a Teespring store and they would start uploading designs to it. We then had Amazon come onto the scene with their Amazon FBA options, where you could actually create print on demand products to be sold on Amazon. And now we have this huge push for folks that are getting into print on demand to open an Etsy shop. Etsy is like the new Amazon, which was the new Teespring. It seems like everybody is attempting to jump on Etsy and create their own print-on-demand store that's going to be making them lots of money. And basically what I want to do is I want to talk about why that strategy is attractive and why, unfortunately, I think that is where print-on-demand dies. Meaning, I think we're ultimately looking at the very near death of the platform print-on-demand store. And again, when I talk about platforms, I'm talking about, places like like Etsy or places like Amazon or Teespring, where someone basically just starts up, different designs to things like t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. Print on demand on an Etsy shop is basically about identifying as many trending niche ideas as possible. If we are getting near Mother's Day, well, then everybody starts blending things like nurses and moms together on their designs. If we are getting close to Father's Day, you see the same thing, but geared towards fathers. Any other time of year, you start to see lots of different pet products like these here, or whatever niche you could possibly think of. People that are police officers or teachers, or whatever niche you are thinking of, there's likely going to be tons of other people on Etsy that are doing the exact same thing. And a lot of people are attracted to this strategy. Don't get me wrong, there are some major advantages to doing a print-on-demand store in this way. A key one would be that there is a really low barrier to entry. Basically, what you need to do is just create your designs and upload them. And then another major advantage is that there is free traffic. As people are on Etsy and typing in gifts for a nurse, they're going to potentially come across your stuff. To a lot of people, that is a major draw, and that is why they initially start their store on Etsy. The problem is what happens next is that there is a tremendous amount of effort to actually maintain an Etsy shop. You would think that if you were to just create designs and upload them, that it would be easy. But most people that I talk to that are running an Etsy shop are constantly creating new designs. They're constantly doing research. They're looking at tons of different software and tools to see which niches are trending, which quotes are trending, and they're constantly in a state of creating new designs so that way they can remain relevant on the platform. If they just stop uploading designs, then there's a good chance their sales will actually dry up. Ultimately, the people that I talk to that are making $1,000 a month in profit are also uploading dozens and dozens and dozens of designs every single week onto their Etsy shop, which in most cases is going to be something that can lead to a lot of burnout. I'm not saying that when people are going on Etsy looking for a gift for a teacher, that as they scroll through this stuff, that they're not going to be interested in buying any of this. Of course, this stuff is going to sell. People are going to make purchases on Etsy. They're going to want to buy things for dog moms and people that love baseball, or football moms and hockey moms and teachers like this here. The problem is that it is just so saturated, and every single person who is looking to jump into print on demand is doing the same thing. They're jumping on Etsy and they're creating as many designs as possible, and they're blending in with everybody else. You can see here, I typed in teacher gifts and we have over 1 million results in the search. If you are looking to start a print on demand store, to me, that is a horrible option, and this is how print on demand dies in the year 2023. Like I said, yes, people will buy this stuff, but everybody who is selling there is not going to make a lot of sales. Basically what I'm saying is there's not enough sales to go around for every single person with an Etsy shop to make a lot of sales. Ultimately, I think we are looking at another shift with print on demand, and that is why I sort of walked you through the history where we saw people, doing really well with Teespring, moving to Amazon and doing really well, and then over the last 2 years, there's been this major shift to Etsy, and unfortunately, I think we're at another pivot point. What I would much rather do is what I've been doing since I started my first store in 2016. If you watch some of my other videos, I talk a lot about the idea of you actually creating your own website using a place like Shopify or WordPress or Squarespace or whatever you want to build your own site. I, however, prefer Shopify. That's what my course is about. It's completely free. There's a link down in the description. It will show you how to build a Shopify store. But my point is, I would much rather build my own website to sell my print-on-demand products. I would rather choose a niche or a product and then build out my site for it with a really exclusive line of products and then begin to use social media to build my brand and make sales. Take a look at this store here. This is an exact example of what I mean. Basically, this person here has created a really simple store. There is nothing crazy here. They have created a very exclusive, small line of products. The store is called trailrunningaddicts.com. They're creating products for people that like to run on trails, and they've built themselves a pretty nice little store here. And then what they are doing is using the power of social media to promote their products, grow a community, and ultimately gain customers through their social media channels. With this strategy, you could also use influencer marketing and paid Instagram ads, which are two other strategies that I talk about here on my YouTube channel. To me, this is way more attractive than building a never-ending Etsy shop. I would much rather build my own store, one that I can have a lot of fun with, one that I can build a limited product catalog with, and then stop creating new designs and ultimately just spend all my time marketing my stuff. Again, if we scroll through their store here, they really don't have much on here. They have a couple of different product types with a couple of different designs for each product, and then they are just spending their time on social media here, growing their community, creating fans, and ultimately beginning to make sales. Another thing that people often don't think about is when you're building your own site, you actually own it. When you're focused on platform selling like Teespring, Amazon, or Etsy, you're just another seller on those platforms. You don't really own anything. You don't have your own business. You don't have your own customers. You don't even own your customers' data, meaning you can never follow up with them with email or text message marketing or anything like that. Essentially what you're doing is you're just becoming just another person online, and the only way that you're going to make sales is if your stuff is showing up on the first page of results when someone is typing something in. Ultimately, that is really my point here with this video today, is that is how I think print on demand dies. I think POD as a side hustle dies with the platform, right? If you're looking to use print on demand to build yourself a brand, if you're basically going to be someone who chooses a niche like this store here, and then you're going to make some really nice designs, put together a nice site, and then use the power of social media to grow it, that's awesome. That's something that I think is going to be a great option for a lot of people looking to make income online forever. I don't think something like this is ever going to go out of style. You could also choose a product type, sort of like this store here. This is called Lakeshore Metal Decor. They sell print-on-demand metal signs. And again, this is a very popular product on Etsy. If you searched for stuff like this on Etsy, you would likely see hundreds of thousands of different results, but this store here is doing a tremendous job building out their brand. You can see all these reviews here on the page as well. They're basically bypassing all of that saturation on Etsy and taking their products directly to the customers. If we take a look at their Facebook page here, you can see that they have 5,000 followers here that they are using to promote their products to. Essentially what I'm saying to you is that if you're looking to jump into print on demand and you're worried if it's too late or not, if your plan is to get into platform selling where you are just going to be identifying random niches, things like being a dog mom or being a cat mom or creating things for nurses or teachers or various sports or different jobs that people have or hobbies that they do, then yeah, it probably honestly is a little bit too late for you. But if your plan is to create like a brand inside of your niche, like the Trail Running Addict store or the Lakeshore Metal Decor store, then there's probably lots of time left, because that is never going to be something, in my opinion, that is not going to quote unquote work. The idea that you creating a brand selling products that people in your niche love, is that ever going to go out of style? I don't think that is. But if you're going to think that you're going to start a POD store on Etsy and you're going to compete with hundreds of other people, hundreds of thousands of other people, to me, that is a dying side hustle, and you should think differently about what it is you are doing with your store. I don't know if I've repeated myself over and over again at this point. I'm sure some of you guys here, if you're still watching, probably feel that way. So I'm going to wrap up the video, but hopefully this was helpful. My goal here was to, again, address that comment that I saw in the Facebook group, and also to give my opinion on how I think POD dies in 2023 and ultimately how it thrives in the years to come. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you hate me, if you love me, whatever it is, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.